So you can kind of see this flooded area. This is really low back here. And they actually put some plywood back here just to walk around it. Underneath of the shed, all flooded, this whole area through here. So what we need to do is we need some collection, be French drains, catch basins, and we're gonna need a sump pump because this is lower than the street. Fortunately, if you remember this job, we actually installed a sump pump down in the crawl space. So they have a discharge line that comes out, we can tie into that. Since I've been here, it looks like they've got some sewer problems. So they've got a plumber out here working on that. Looks like that old cast iron line there broke in a couple of places. But yeah, real simple job. Something you guys could easily do, and we'll show you how to do that. So sometimes we end up getting mulch and just to kind of cover some beds that we dig up. We're including this mulch in our job that we're coming up, getting a couple yards of red mulch at Stone Plus. Great little place here in Palm Coast. A lot cheaper than by the bag. Good morning, Chuck here with Apple Drains. You know, for that do-it-yourselfer, you've got Lowe's and Home Depot. Both great places. I prefer to go to Lowe's because they have more drainage supplies. Let me show you what we're going to get today. Maybe it'll help you, understand some of the drainage and some of the costs as well. On this next job we're installing, we're going to put in about 200 feet of 4-inch solid, and we're going to use that. This is going to be hooking up downspout drains. And the downspout drain is the most important part of any rainwater drainage system. It protects your house beyond any other drain. Everything can be attached to the downspout drain. So we've got 200 feet, at least 4 T's. ADS T's and other fittings, they're very costly. We also need some downspout adapters, and there's 2 kinds. This one is a 2x3, but we need to find the 3x4s. So Chance will look for those. And we need 4 of those. These things are going to add up really quick, but you know what? They're great. It makes it easy when you get all your material before you start digging. That way you don't have to keep running to Lowe's. So a lot of people ask me, do I promote Lowe's? Of course not. It's just, like I said in the beginning, to me, they have a better supply of drainage material. They carry 6-inch pipe. Home Depot does not. So I like to come to Lowe's. That's the only reason. Real quick, let's look at some catch basins. We're going to put in a 9x9 here on this job. And all this catch basin is going to do is be collection. There's an area by the shed that floods, and I will show you that as we start to dig. And the sump basin would sit right beside it. And this is going to be the collection of water in the low spot, and there'll be a pipe that comes out and runs over to the sump basin. So you can see how this would set up. This is the basin. It has a solid lid. We don't want the water to drop straight into this pit. We want the water to be collected off to the side through any type of system, whether it's a French drain, downspout, catch basin, and there's lots of catch basins. You can see the big 12x12s with decorative colors, standard ones. Here's a 9x9 with a solid metal grate. There's all kinds of catch basins. I do like to use the small round catch basins. I think they work great, but this customer asked for the bigger basin. Tried to explain to him that no matter what size basin this is, the outlet is still the same. There's the outlet. Doesn't matter. It's the same size. So it doesn't matter how big that basin is. If you have the same size discharge pipe, that's all the faster that water can be collected. Important note, and I know I went over that really fast, but I'll try to explain it again in the video. So we'll start with the back of the house. You can see this landscape bed here, and you can see how this yard just drops off to it. When it rains really hard, this whole area back here floods, and it even floods up into the shed, which is sitting on blocks, but it still comes out high. So there's no gravity from here out to the front. There's no way that water could flow, so we need to put a sump pump back here. And you can see where the 1.5 inch stops. That's where we'll put our sump basin. Right now the guys are cutting the sod off. And then we're also going to hook up downspout drains. That's probably the biggest problem of all homes across the country. Downspout drains splash out, that water runs right back over into your basement, crawl space, or under the slab. So we're going to go ahead and cut the sod off all through here. You see Matt's making a nice little line right there. We'll hook up another downspout, and there's one more there in the front that will hook up. And if you remember, we did a job here where we put a sump pump down in the crawl space, and we've got an 1.5 inch pipe that comes out. They're actually doing a new sewer line there as well. That's why this is all dug up. But we'll attach the second sump pump to this line. So check valves won't let water go back into the crawl space, and it won't let water go back into the back. Pretty straightforward, something the homeowner could easily do themselves. These people are a little bit older and would prefer to have it done professionally, so they're paying us to do it. The downspout drain is a separate drain completely, and it should be that way on all homes. So we're hooking up 4 downspouts. Remember, there were 2 around back off of the porch, and then 1 here at the corner of the house. And you can see we've got 4-inch solid pipe. It'll run all the way out. You can see the hill, so we've got to go through that hill to keep our gravity in our fall. It'll come right over here to the corner of their lot, right here. And it has just enough fall. You can see that rise in the land there, but we'll come all the way out here to the sidewalk and put a pop-up or a grate so that the gravity from the roof, all those downspouts, can come all the way out here to the front. Really straightforward and a good project for the do-it-yourselfer. If you look here at the video, you'll remember what the parts cost. I showed you that and added up. You'll have $300–400 in parts versus spending $3,000 or $4,000 to pay somebody to do it. So they've already got, pretty much the sod off here in the back, and we just put sod on one side, put your dirt on the other, and you start to dig. It goes really quick. Remember to work backwards. Real important to work backwards. It's just like a machine. Machines do not dig forwards, they dig backwards. You're just a human machine if you do it yourself. And set your sod right beside your trench so that you can easily put it back. That's the key to making it look good. If you put a tarp out, great. We didn't bring any tarps to this job. It's not going to matter. We'll get enough sand up off the ground. The first rain, it'll all disappear, and it'll be hard to tell we were here within just a couple of weeks. So if you're going to put a backyard sump basin in, they have power here in the shed, which is great. They'll have an electrician come out and they'll put a GFI outlet here on the outside. So right there, we'll put the pit down into the ground. It has a solid lid cover, and it totally disappears. The way we're going to collect the water is we're actually going to put a catch basin maybe right there in front of me to allow that water into the basin. We don't want the water to drop directly into our sump basin because it pulls all the debris, anything, mulch, grass, clippings, leaves, it pulls all that down into the basin and it makes it hard for the sump pump to lift it up. We do use a Zoller M98, and it isn't a fluid pump. What that means is it's a grinder, and it does grind up solids, but why directly put them in when you can put a catch basin off to the side and bring the water over? So one of the hardest things that you do, especially when you have high groundwater, you can see the water right away, and we're about halfway down. The more you dig out with water, the more it collapses. So your hole's going to get bigger, and you can use post hole diggers. You could use a machine auger. It won't matter. It's going to keep collapsing and filling back up with sand. So you've got to dig that out. We're putting a catch basin over here. You see the little section over there. We'll put a catch basin. That's collecting the water, not the basin. The catch basin is. The sump basin, it holds the sump pump. This line comes out. This is the 1.5 inch PVC, and it'll go all the way around and tie into the existing sump pump line. So the basin sets up the way any other basin does. We're going to drill some holes in the bottom so that water in that hole can come up and keep this basin down into the dirt, because otherwise it'll float up. But there's nipples on both sides, right? Take a hacksaw, good sharp hacksaw, and just cut that right off. This is going to be the inlet line. Let's flip it back around. This is the inlet line for the catch basin that's collecting the water. That brings the water over to the sump basin, and then of course the sump pump will sit down here, lift it up, and we'll go right through the side of the basin with 1.5 inch. It's a 2-inch hole saw, real simple. Drill through it, bring it in, plumb your sump pump, and you're done. Okay, so we're going to make a connection to an 1.5 inch pipe. This is a sump pump discharge line that comes from the crawl space. It comes out and it turns. We're hooking our our sump pump from the backyard to this line. There's check valves that stop the water from going back into either sump basin. We're going to use a Y, and you can see if we cut off at the couplings on both sides, it will be a very tight fit. So what we do is we use a no hub, and this side is glued, but we're going to make our measurement back farther so we can slide the no hub over the pipe and then over this pipe and tighten it down. Real simple to do, but you really only get one chance at this. So let's go ahead and cut that. I'm going to make a measurement here. Let me make sure I'm lined up. Looks good. I'm going to cut this side first. And we're just going to cut right through it. So we're cut through that side. Next, we'll cut through this side. I want to cut it back to about right here. Okay, now we'll just clean these off. We'll get some glue. We'll glue this stuff right up on here. Yep, looks good. Next piece. Good amount of glue. Get this one in there good and tight. Perfect. Now we can put the no hub on. Let me put my glue away. So now we can slide the no hub back over top of. We'll loosen that up a little bit more. We can slide it all the way back, then come back and get a nice connection. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Now we'll tighten it up. Just as tight as that'll make it, and we're all set. I'm going to go ahead and put a temporary 90 here because I need to plug the pump back in, but we're ready to go. Okay, so we have it all installed. You can see the downspouts with the downspout adapters. Now we're just backfilling. And you notice that we use the same trench for the 1.5 inch pipe, and that goes back to the sump basin. We're going to install the sump basin on Monday because the groundwater is too high, and we're going to have to use a mud pump to keep up with the flow. It's tremendous. A lot of groundwater. The ocean is right behind that building, is less than half a block, so it must be high tide because that water is really high. But anyways, got this all plumbed together. You can see the 4-inch solid pipe running all the way out to the street, just finishing it up out there. Made our connection to the existing sump pump line with a no hub. Showed you how to do that. Remember I said that sometimes your line's offset, so it's just ever so slightly right there. Put a no hub, gives it the bend that we need. We're all set. So let's go out here and see what's going on. Okay, you can see that groundwater. We're going to have to use the mud pump to keep up with that as we put the sump basin in. So we'll do that on Monday. Got a check valve here at the end, so no water from the crawl space can come back. And of course there's a check valve on the crawl space as well. Chance is just cleaning up. We'll go ahead and put that sod back on there after that's all clean. Matt's taking care of this spot over here. And this backyard will be back together in just a few minutes. So let's go around front. I'm just walking so you can see the install. Real straightforward, just hooking up pipe once you have your trench dug. And again, I talked about using the no hub to make a really nice connection. And again, I used one right here because it's just ever so slightly offset, maybe 2 degrees, but there'll be enough play with that no hub to give it that little bit of play to make a nice straight line. What you're looking at right there is a sewer line, and the plumbers are doing that work. That line they're going to replace. Of course, they have to come through all of our stuff, but that's what they got to do. One final downspout right here. Remember, the downspout, it's the most important drain of the entire house. If you just splash this water out, even if you send it out this far, that water is going to travel back underground, go into the crawl space or the basement, and you have problems. Always better to send a 4-inch pipe all the way out to the street, sidewalk, get it as far away from the house. Okay, so we're just backfilling the line, and we come to a pop-up. I suggest that you put a set screw in here. You see the screw I put in right here? Because when it rains hard, that roof, it gathers a whole bunch of water. I mean, tens of thousands of gallons, and it will just blow that pop-up right off of there. So always try to remember that. Otherwise, you're going to come out here every day, every time it rains, put this back together. Put a set screw in there. It will help. So we're all done. Just backfill, and we're out of here. So before you put your sod back on, you really should have an area cleaned up that looks just like that. You know, you get all that dirt. We didn't put any tarps out there, and you can see it comes up really clean. Takes a few more extra pulls with your rake, but you know, easy to do. And now we can set the sod back on there. It's going to settle perfectly, and we'll be all set. So don't forget the screw in your pop-up, and this job is complete. Hey, this is Chuck with Apple Drains, reminding you that if you believe you can do something, I guarantee you can do it. Have a great day.